So you guys are probably wondering, why on earth, Tausif, are you wearing like a sweater, a jacket, like 4 layers right now? You ready for this? Guys, like it's snowing near the end of April.
What the hell is even that?
So I actually stole my iPad Pro several months back. How did I go from the iPad Pro is my favorite Apple product ever to, yo, I'm gonna sell you the iPad for 800 bills. You wanna cop that? All right, gotcha. So how did I go from a complete love of this product to I need to sell this product ASAP? And also, does it make sense to buy the M1 iPad Pro now? Am I gonna be picking it up? Should you pick it up? All that and more in this episode. It's kind of not an episode, but you know what I mean. Let's go. The iPad is the best tablet on the market, no cap. It's enabled and empowered a lot of creatives, and it's also come very close to replacing a laptop for a lot of people out there. And for a while, I kind of fit the bill for this as well. The iPad Pro was the quintessential on-the-go productivity beast for me. And I'm talking specifically about the pre-pandemic era. The iPad Pro was my favorite device to take with me on my commutes. Every day when I'd get on my commute, it would be like a ritual. I would grab my tea in my flask. Do we even call it a flask? What's it called? Thermos? I don't know. So I'd have my tea, I'd have my egg sandwich, and I would open up the iPad, and while I would eat, I would watch a YouTube video. And right after that, I would just switch gears into productivity, because those commute hours were pretty much the only hours I had to work on my YouTube channel. So that would be the time that I would be, hacking through emails. That would be the time I would be doing my research, my scripting, putting all my thoughts down on paper, storyboarding, whatever I needed to do, or even photo and video editing to a certain degree for thumbnails and all that stuff. That would be done on the iPad Pro. But as soon as the pandemic hit and everybody started working from home, and this usage for my iPad almost became obsolete, I would pretty much still have some applications for using the iPad around the home while I was moving around and whatnot, but it would be very minimal. Stuff like when I wanted to consume content and I wanted to watch it on a bigger screen. Or let's say I wanted to rip through some emails or get some admin work done or something like that, I would occasionally pick up the iPad Pro until M1. You see, traditionally, I was always using the 16-inch MacBook Pro for all my editing, or before that, it was the 15-inch. Either way, I would opt for the bigger screen because it would usually come with better performance, better graphics card, and it would just be able to drive the work that I'm doing a lot better. So this kind of gave a need for me to have something smaller to carry around when I just wanted to browse the internet or, go through some email or just do some scripting or something like that on the go. But when the M1 chip came out, I found that I was literally able to replicate and even outperform that MacBook Pro 16-inch with like a base model MacBook Air M1. And it was insane. And if you guys missed it, I've documented that in several of my videos where I've compared the performance. I've edited different sorts of footages coming from my cameras. So all in all, the M1 gave us insane performance in a much more smaller and lighter and like easier to carry around, more portable package. I actually quite enjoyed using that setup, and the MacBook Air quickly became like the dream laptop computer device for me. And then my current situation right now is I just basically have a MacBook Pro 13-inch M1 hooked up to like an external monitor where I do all my editing and everything like that, and that's basically what I use in the studio. When I leave the studio, I just unplug my MacBook Pro and I just take it with me. I mean, it's been working somewhat good. There's a few bugs here and there, but overall, I mean, it gets the job done. And that's when I ended up selling my iPad Pro because I just wasn't using it for, quite some time. But what about the future, right? The new M1 iPad Pro that's coming out. Does that change anything in the way that my workflow currently is, or like the things that I'm doing right now? A little bit. Now, the iPad Pro is an extremely capable device. Like, don't get me wrong, it's super powerful and you can do a whole crap ton of stuff on there. It's just not a complete laptop replacement for me. Because of my needs, I kind of need Mac OS. I need that, that full file system integration, multiple I/O ports. I need Final Cut Pro and a whole bunch of pro apps and the plugins and everything like that I'm using in order to get my day-to-day job done. But you know what? That probably shouldn't discourage you from trying. If you think you can make it work, you quite possibly could. I know a bunch of people who have successfully replaced their laptop with an iPad because pretty much most of the stuff that they're doing on their computers is browsing the internet, content consumption, emails, and this and that, and social media. So they don't really need a full-fledged laptop for something like that. So the iPad has officially replaced their computers. And furthermore, even in the creative space, I know people who have pretty much done their entire channels on their iPad. A good friend of mine, Chris Lawley, who I definitely recommend if this is a path that you're trying to head down, he pretty much runs his entire business, his entire YouTube channel right off of the iPad. So it is possible, but you just gotta rewire and train yourself to work that way. Now here's where my mind's at. I want a solution. Like, I'm really tired right now of docking my MacBook to my external monitor. Like, it is annoying me quite a bit because for some reason, like my computer sometimes, like if I touch the port a little bit, like it disconnects, sometimes it restarts. I have to have like a bunch of dongles attached to it. I would like to get a solution like an iMac or an iMac Pro for the studio, and then have something more portable, the iPad Pro, for when I go home and I'm not at the studio. That idea I kind of like. I don't know how it will be in theory. I would have to actually do it and then report back to you guys on here, but that's the idea that I have in my mind right now. Furthermore, I still have faith. Like, I'm still holding out for WWDC to come and Tim Cook to get on stage and be like, I know you guys have all been asking for Final Cut Pro on the iPad. Finally, today, we are going to be releasing on a subscription model Final Cut Pro that will sync between your laptop and your iPad, all in one. Why do I have a British accent? It doesn't make sense. Why put an M1 chip on the iPad Pro, and why make it so powerful? Like, traditionally, the iPad has always been so overpowered for what it's running and what it's doing on iPad OS. So that's my theory. I think we're gonna get Pro apps in WWDC. Let's hope for it. In any case, I hope you enjoyed this video. You found this video beneficial and helpful, and let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Does my thought process make sense? Is there another solution that you think might work better for me, or there's a solution that works good for you? Let me know in the comment section down below. On that note, I will see you guys in the next one. Take care, stay blessed. Peace.